If you like chili like I do, well then stick around because you're in for a real treat. How about a hearty, chunky chili without all the fat and calories? Hi, I'm Nancy Fox. Welcome to Nancy's Healthy Kitchen's Lighten Up. Not only am I going to lighten up your favorite recipes by trimming the fat and calories, I'm going to lighten up with wallet-friendly recipes that won't break the bank. And I'm going to help you lighten up and not feel so stressed of how to cook healthy for your family. Chili originated in Texas, and boy did the Texans love their chili. In fact, they just refer to it as a bowl of red. If you add any kind of beans or tomatoes, they don't think it's an authentic chili. Others feel if you don't make a homemade chili powder, it's not really chili. I don't know, I just love the kind of chili that my mom made when I was a kid. Typically the kind of chili you see at a Super Bowl party. So that's the kind of chili we're cooking up today. So I've got my turkey here. I'm using ground turkey. This is one of the ways we're going to cut the fat. Instead of using ground beef and you use ground turkey, we're going to save about 190 calories, but more importantly, we're cutting down the fat. How about 18 grams? All right, here's my next tip. And it's actually one of the best quick tips. If any recipe you're ever playing around with in the kitchen calls for ground beef or turkey, here's what I want you to do. Take a colander. All right, we're going to turn our flame down, and we're going to add our ground turkey to this colander. Okay, now you can see that it has a lot of fat still. Even though we're using lean turkey, it still has a lot of natural fat. And wait till you see what we're going to get. We're going to save about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. We just don't need the fat. So I'm going to add the blotted turkey back to the pan. Okay, my next quick tip. Whenever a recipe calls for chopped onions where you're going to saute them in lots of oil, not going to do that. Cut up your onions, put it in a microwave-safe bowl or plate, pop it in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes. You're going to get the most beautiful sauteed onions that look incredible, like we were slaving over a stove, and they're probably saving you about 2 whole tablespoons of fat. We're going to add the onions to our turkey. Now come on over to the sink, we're talking beans. Okay, next we're going to add our fiber-rich beans. I've got kidney and black beans. Now beans are the most economical way to add a lean protein, and I love to add the 2 kinds. But the problem is when you use canned beans, they're loaded with sodium. So I've got a quick tip. How about you pour the beans into a colander, both kinds, and then you're going to run some water over them. Not only is the water going to get rid of a lot of the sodium, it's going to release all the bubbly gases that beans tend to create. Hey, your family's going to thank me for this. Okay, now I'm ready to add the beans. Okay, the next ingredient we're going to add are canned tomatoes. We're going to add 1 can at about 15 ounces. And then we're also going to add a can of tomato sauce. Both are so heart healthy. They have a thing called lycopene. They're also anti-cancer. Okay, let's talk about the spices that we're going to add. Now we've got a tablespoon of dried chili powder. I've got a half a teaspoon of dried cumin. I've got some red pepper or cayenne pepper, only a 1/4 teaspoon, the same 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. If you're on a low sodium diet, you can leave the salt out. You're not going to miss it at all. So let's add our seasonings. Now we're going to add a little bit of garlic. If you don't want to hassle with fresh garlic, I know I really don't. I always keep a jar in my refrigerator of already crushed garlic. So we're going to add a little bit, about 1.5 teaspoons. And then, because we drained all the liquid from the beans, we're going to add 1/2 cup of water. Now, at this point, turn your flame up to high. We're going to mix it around so it all gets blended, all the seasonings and the garlic and all the onions and the turkey. And after you bring it up to a boil, you're going to turn it down to a simmer. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes to thicken, and then your chili is going to be all ready to go. Look what I created. A fabulous taco salad. Okay, how do we make it? Chop up some romaine lettuce and plate it. Put a nice generous portion of this fabulous turkey chili. Then I've chopped some tomatoes. I've drizzled a little bit of my low-fat ranch, a little bit of salsa, so we've got some cool going on and some spicy, and then crunch up some no-oil blue corn chips. It's crunchy, it's spicy, and it's cool. Or how about setting up for your family a wonderful chili bar? Put the chili in a bowl, bring it to the table. You get to have a hefty portion, a cup actually, which is a lot. We're gonna put it in the bowl. And then let your family customize their chili. I've got onions. I love the onions. I've got shredded reduced fat cheese. Love it. And of course some fresh chopped tomatoes. Works for me. And then everybody loves my reduced fat ranch, so we're going to drizzle some of that on. And then, not complete without some no oil blue corn chips, decorate your bowl. Okay, it's complete. Now, if you want any of these recipes, including my wonderful reduced fat ranch, log on to my website, nancyshealthykitchen.com. Okay, we got to talk about how we've lightened up today. Per 1 cup serving, regular chili, 744 calories and an astounding 39 grams of fat. My chili, only 455 calories, only 3.2 grams of fat and 15 grams of fiber. Now let's talk about what we saved. If you're going to make this whole recipe, the chili's only going to cost you $8.55. Go and order it at your local restaurant. You're going to pay the same for only 1 serving. Okay, until next time, lighten up.